good sis Coco ain't gonna do nothing else. She gonna start a good old conversation. Yes, you've said so much in your comments, and I agree. I agree. The only thing that I want to get on here and elaborate on is the retaliation piece, because I think some people, not you, but you brought up a good point, so let's clarify. What's good, I'm LoneeAppleton. I am a healthy family advocate. If that is your content of choice, please consider following, commenting, sharing, posting videos with your community so we can grow, as well as picking up a piece of the merch, putting a tip in the jar, and picking up your copy of What's the Best That Can Happen at LoneeTaylorArt.com. All right, sis, I agree. I want to elaborate on the retaliation piece. We tend to think of worst case scenarios with anything that is perceived as negative. Abuse is literally knocking someone around. Abuse could never be telling your kid that they can't get stuff right. That's not abuse. But whether you're knocking your kid around or you're telling them they can't get stuff right, you are causing trauma. Therefore, that is a form of abuse. Cheating is going and having sex with someone. Cheating isn't flirting with someone over the internet. But both of those are breaking the trust of your spouse. Therefore, they're both cheating. It's high time we stop looking at worst case scenarios of things that we need to address. And we need to address things at their infancy, and they will never get to worst case scenario. Someone said, these soft ass kids and blah, blah, blah. You definitely should stand firm in your methodology of teaching and raising children. And you're going to have children that grow into adults who nobody wants to be around. But you don't soften your approach. You stay firm and continue to repeat the master's plan. Thinking of a master plan. So in retaliation, and when I see people cheering Keke Palmer on, I don't have a problem with the woman being assertive. I don't have a problem calling a man out on his stuff. I have publicly and privately called my husband out on his stuff. And when I publicly did it, I was potentially tearing my family apart. And I had some women hop in my DMs and say, sis, that's not how you're supposed to act. I had some women who hopped in my comments and was like, yeah, sis, let that nigga know. I had some women hop on and say, no, he's right. I have had women from all variations, but regardless of their reaction to my actions were damning to my relationship. We feel so justified in our bad reactionary behavior because we are not thinking, we are reacting off of emotion, and we feel justified because he did something or they did something, so I'm allowed to do something because I have rights too. Who's going to stop the cycle of retaliation? Who's going to stop the tit for tat dysfunction of our relationships? If my man did not have the capacity to deal with my mouth and my fingertips on the internet, my children, my 2 sons, would be my next set of children being raised in a fatherless home. Yo, I want this to sink in real quick. I have 2 baby daddies and 1 child fathers. I have 3 people who have given me children, which means I had 3 opportunities to choose a man that I can reproduce with and actually have a relationship with. 3 opportunities. It took me the 3rd try, but I accepted brokenness. And this is nothing against single mothers. This is fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice.
Is this mom's or?
Old George Bush looking ass. No. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Because I didn't learn that I had such low value and worth that I would reproduce and create a child with someone who would leave me knowingly. In AA, don't get y'all's high-city asses on here talking about, because I'm married to the man I have kids with. Yeah, and you're miserable because you settled for the man you have kids with. In that respect, that's even worse than the woman who at least kept searching. You just quit on yourself. Everybody got some work to do. But I'ma mind my business and sip my tea. Because y'all busy over here judging me because I got weed on my shirt and pink in my hair, and I might be. Why? Because I chose to retaliate. We have to view retaliation as somebody says something that we don't like and it clicks in our brain, oh, I got something for your ass. And y'all out here thinking I'm saying let these men off the hook for their bad behaviors. No, I'm saying be the change you want to see. Do you want to continue to see dysfunction in your relationship? Well, someone who has a brain should start thinking and change the tide. And ladies, I believe it is us. My husband literally has arguments with himself now. Why? Because I became the change that I want to see. Now, let's be clear. Keke Palmer and her dude are a catalyst for a conversation. Nothing is about them. Y'all really out here debating over people's lives that you don't even know is real, meanwhile ignoring your very real life. Y'all do realize y'all are putting more passion into these fictional characters' lives than you are putting into the evolution of your own. But I ain't one to gossip, so you ain't heard it from me. Hey, Miss Bonita! And I said that many times in my videos. I want you to know that I'm talking to you. Not you, Coco, but I'm talking to people out there. I'm not talking about Keke and this dude. I don't care about them. To me, it was a publicity stunt. We need to see a thing and what it is. But what can we learn from this publicity stunt? We can learn that there is a woman who has a newborn baby, and there is a large portion of our society who is cheering her on and publicly destroying her family. All in the name of, you ain't gonna talk to me like that. And everyone y'all call toxic, everyone you call narcissistic besides yourself, because there's no way you're toxic or narcissistic. Everyone isn't toxic and narcissistic, but guaranteed everyone is filled with trauma that they're carrying from their parents, and they don't know how to deal with it because they don't have the emotional intelligence, and you don't recognize it because you don't have the emotional intelligence, and you learn some buzzwords off the internet. Y'all better stop clicking off my videos and get this goddamn knowledge and grow up and stop calling people and labeling people and start actually doing the work to save your relationships instead of accepting brokenness. I have nothing against single mothers, but I wish it would stop being celebrated because that is not our ancestors' goals. Our ancestors' families were literally ripped apart, and we sitting here thinking we're our ancestors' dreams because we drive a Bentley with nobody in the passenger seat. But what about the potential fatherless child? This dummy got on the internet and said some dumb stuff, and you said, I'm going to be a bigger dummy, petty, and you're going to out-petty them, and now your child is being raised in a broken home. And to your point, Coco, we do need to be more selective of who we choose to have children with. And to the point of the other sister in the community who said you don't need both parents to raise a child, I agree. But I've raised children independently, and I've raised children with the father. And what I know from the spiritual side, our children chose their mother and they chose their father because they needed characteristics and traits from each. I can help my children navigate the characteristics and traits that I understand because they're from me. But there are aspects of my children that I just completely do not understand. And I can't help them unless I get down there on their level and raise some soft-ass kids. Yeah, getting down on your kids' level and granting them understanding, especially the side that you don't understand because you're raising them by yourself. Now you're raising decent human beings who know how to use their voice, who know how to be assertive and not confusing it as bitchiness. And you're raising individuals who don't have to find themselves once they leave your home. And these children and these adults learn how to retaliate in the name of love from their primary caregiver.